Hey everybody, welcome to Hilltop Machine Works. Well, hey guys, it's Tom here, back in the shop for another project. That means another video for you guys. First off, I want to just say thanks to all my new subscribers. Thanks to all my old subscribers. I appreciate you hanging in with me there, and the channel's growing thanks to you. So it motivates me to come out here and make more videos for you guys. So what you're looking at is the Harbor Freight tube roller. If you remember, I picked this thing up probably last summer, and we made the fire pit cover with this. So if you haven't watched those two videos, it's a two-part series, go back and watch those. You kind of get an idea what I'm talking about when I use this thing. But this is a decent product as it is, but Swag Off-Road has taken it a step further and designed some improvements for this thing. And if you remember in a mail call, been a while, I picked up the two, basically, I guess you call them kits that you get from Swag Off-Road. One is these weld-on wings, and they go on basically here, and they outboard your dies, so they're sitting farther out. One, it makes the stock a lot more stable, and two, it enables you to press it down a lot better, because now you're not fighting a short gap, you've got a wider gap to drive that top die down. So we'll be welding these wings on to improve this roller. And also they make a they call it the tube roller electric drive bottle jack kit. So what we're going to do is remove some of this part here, and then you put in a 4-ton bottle jack. So that way all you got to do is just crank it, and it'll push this drive die down. It's a lot easier than trying to crank this lead screw right here. And then they also give you this kit where we will be modifying the shaft here, because normally you'd have that big ship's hand wheel which you turn it, so that gets removed, and we have the electric pipe threader that you get from Harbor Freight, and you mount that to it. Picked up a foot pedal, so that way you don't do anything manually. You just step on the pedal and it'll roll it, you know, and then you hit your switch and you roll it back, and then of course all you gotta do is crank it down with the bottle jack handle, and it makes life a lot easier, especially if you're running a long tube and a fairly thick tube in diameter. And I don't know if you've been a shopper of Harbor Freight for a while, but I guess their marketing department has like price points in their mind for their products, and as you know, the years go on, obviously prices go up. So in order to keep that same price point, you know, they've got to cut corners. And when this thing originally came out, not only did it come with the dies to do round tubing, you used to get a set of these, but you did flat bar stock. Well, they've since eliminated that die set, so all you get is the round ones. You don't get the flat ones anymore. Swag Off-Road does sell the dies. You know, you need 3 of them for each size, I guess. You know, 1 inch thick, or should I say, not really thick, but 1 inch wide, 1 1/4, 1.5 inch wide, whatever flat bar you want to roll up. You need a set of dies for it. And they're about, I think, 150 bucks for a pair of 3. It's been a while since I looked at the website, but I have to go back and check. But hey, you know, we've got skills and we've got a big lathe, so we're going to make them ourselves. And if you remember in the previous mail call, I picked up this big honking piece of metal here 4-inch diameter, so we're perfect to make the dies. So we should be able to get at least a couple sets out. And then I picked the bearings up for it, so we'll be going over to the big Monarch, which is cool because we haven't used the old girl in a while. And obviously we'll cut out for the space to form the flat bar. We'll also have to drill a through hole, 20mm through hole, and then bore it out. I think this is 47mm for the bearings to fit in each side. And then of course we'll have to do that about 6 times. That'll give us at least a couple widths we can do. Maybe do a 1-inch and a 1.5, and then maybe be able to finagle the 1.25 with the 1.5. I'm not sure. So that is what we got going on. It'll be a pretty fun project. Guys should enjoy it. It may run long, so it may run to like a 2-part video series. We'll just see how it goes. So I think to start off with, the weather is nice right now, but they're calling for some rain and a little bit of a cold front to come through. So I'm going to take this big honker out there. I'm going to go ahead and clean it up with the wire cup wheel, knock all the rust and dirt and mud and all that stuff off, so it won't get all over the ways when we clean it and cut it and do all we need to do on the lathe. And I'll go ahead and get this broken down. Got to get all this nice gold anodized ground off so we can get some good welds, and we'll get this project rolling. All right. So our first order of operation per the instruction is we are welding these, I guess you call these maybe reinforcement tabs, onto the back of the outboard wings. And as you can see, I just knocked the mill scale off, and you're supposed to buzz a weld right through there, basically do a plug weld. So let me move you guys over. And we'll go from there. Alright, easy breezy. I'll do the other 3 off camera. Our next order operation now is we get to weld these outboard wings on. So you get it lined up, you trace it with a Sharpie, and then now what we'll do is go ahead and grind all this coating off of it so we got a good weld surface, and we'll get these 2 wings welded up, and then we'll flip it over and rinse and repeat the other side. Got it fitted up, got the hole lined excuse me, got the hole lined up and got it all ground off. So we'll go ahead and get it tacked up and then burn a weld all the way around it here. Got my welding shirt on so I don't burn my arms from all the UV here. I forgot to mention I also got the back door open. So I can get a breeze through here, so I don't want to be breathing these zinc fumes. That would not be good. Alright, I got it pretty well tacked up. I'm going to go ahead and just burn a weld all the way around it. I don't want to bore you guys. I'll bring you back. Gonna go handheld for a second, but got the two outboard supports welded on. Stacking dimes with a couple nickels in there. So it's really warm, so I'm gonna let it cool down and then flip her over and do the other outboard supports. Hopefully you guys can see that pretty good. So she's cooling down. The other set of outboard supports are welded on. And the last thing we need to do on the bottom end is normally you'd have this pin. Of course, it goes through this die right here, and then you run a pin on the other side, and of course you've got two washers. So basically it'd be like this, and this thing would fit in here. Well, the problem is now that these have been added, this is too short. You cannot get both pins in. So what the instructions are calling for to do is basically you're eliminating one pin and you're just welding the washer on top here. So that's what I'm going to do. Nothing spectacular. I won't bore you with it, but just to let you know that's what I'm getting ready to do, and this bottom end will be done. So it's the next day and this thing is all cooled down. The outboards are all welded up. We're all done with this bottom part now. Got these parts all separated and deburred, and per the instructions now I need to basically take this apart. We're going to take this top part apart, and I'll do that off camera, not bore you guys. And then we're going to be, looks like these brackets are going to go on here. Hopefully you guys are in frame. I think you are. Turn you around a little bit, yeah. So these will end up going in here. And looks like I got to modify a pin or something. And I've got to weld these little boogers up. So let me get to that and I'll bring you guys back. As you can see, I got the top part done here. So the bottle jack is going to fit in this area. And there's that electric pipe threader that you buy from Harbor Freight. So now this is a pipe clamp that comes in the kit, and it's got me pressing this pin out here because apparently you used this pin. So I'm gonna run this over to the arbor press. Hopefully I can get this out pretty easily. And then it looks like move you over, get this thing loosened up a little bit. Hang on. So I got these tabs cleaned up, and it looks like I think we weld them together, and they ride. They'll ride on that pin over here, and the spring goes in this tab there, and then goes onto the top of that tab. That we have right here. So just slowly working my way through. Just getting those tabs welded up that I showed you earlier. Doesn't take much. So So I got you set over here at the mill. This is a drive axle that drives the die that's in the middle. If you watch the video of making the fire pit, you remember I mentioned when I picked up the kit from Harbor Freight, you know, it seems to be ironic, the typical Harbor Freight stuff. It was missing the drive axle. Went back to the store, told the manager I needed this part, and he really didn't care. He's like, well, you bought the last tube and roller we have in stock. We don't have any more, so what do you want me to do about it? I'm like, well, I'd like another one. Hello. Won't function without it. And so he called around, said, well, there's a store down the road about 30 miles. They've got like 4 in stock. And I'm like, well, you know, I've got to go an hour out of my way just to get this part. And I just kind of was disgusted and left. And all it is a 20 millimeter rod. So I obviously had some 20 millimeter stock, and I just made the drive shaft for it. I didn't mill any flats on it because I thought that the this has 3 hold down screws would be enough, but it wasn't. So we're going to go ahead and mill the flats on this thing now, because you have to actually weld this thing up once you get it in the kit. So we'll go ahead and get this done. It's just simple. Got it in a 5C collet. You know, we're going to get I'm going to get this one first since we're sticking out so far. Just go ahead and mill this flat. And this is like this one is 180 degrees from that one and 90 from that, so that's why I got it in the 5C collet, so I can turn it and flip it and orientate it to the right angles I need. So we're just going to go ahead and buzz this off. Probably do about 50 thousandths, probably about all I need for a flat. And it's just a half-inch end mill. I think it's 4 flute, and it's a regrind. So let's get her done. See what my speed is. And way too slow. See how it likes 25 to start off with. This is a 01 drill rod, by the way. That's probably enough. We'll go a little bit deeper. Another 25. Alright, that's a good looking flat. take that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other two right there. You can see where it scorched it a little bit, or scarred it, should I say. So I'll get these knocked out and we'll meet you back over the welding table. Well, I figured I'd show you what I got going on. So what they have you doing is using the pipe threader to thread the drive axle about halfway, and then eventually what you're going to do is you're going to tack weld it and you're going to lock this on, and this is what's going to drive your your drive axle, which is going to drive your driving die. But holy cow. So let me show you what I got to do, man. So I've got in a pipe holding vise in the vise, and she's so tight that I got to kind of walk her around and then to thread it. So of course, this is a quality piece of, '01 drill rod, and the probably the original piece was a piece of Chinese junk, so it's probably a lot easier to cut threads on than this thing. That's why I'm fighting it, but slow going. So there you go, guys. It is basically done. Looks a little butchered and discombobulated, so I want to clean it all up and paint it one color. So let's see what I've got in my cabinet there for a selection of paints. If I still have enough of that sail blue, like I painted the pedestal it sits on, then I'll probably paint it that color. One last thing. This is the drive axle that goes in there, and obviously drives the die. And what they recommend, let me set you down here and get you close, is to basically weld this thing onto the shaft. And I'm not too keen on that idea. This thing was somewhat pricey to begin with. Let me see how much I actually paid for this thing. With my coupon, I ended up paying $138, $10 tax, so basically $148.80, so almost $150 to power this thing. And when I built the shop, I ran half-inch airlines with galvanized piping in here, and unfortunately I didn't have one of these at the time. I borrowed my buddy's rigid brand threader. It was a manual one, and of course it had the tripod to sit on, and I did everything by hand. And once I eventually moved to a new shop, then I'm going to have to plumb the airlines, so it'd be nice to not destroy this die, and I can use this setup. So what I think I'm going to do is, not sure if you can see it or not, but you got holes through the die like every 90 degrees. I think what I want to do is drill a hole straight through this drive axle, and we'll just run a pin through it, and that way the die can't back off or go forward, and that's what's going to drive this. So I think that's a better idea. So I'm just going to take this over to the mill and punch a hole through it real quick, and I'll bring you guys back. And depending on the length of this video, this may be part one. Actually, probably we'll do it. Just cut it here, make this part one, and part two will feature making the dies for the flat stock over there at the Monarch. So thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit that thumbs up button, and we'll catch you on part two.